Hi, how's it going? My name is Brendan O'Dowd. I work in the area of nanoscience in an institution called CRAN, which is the Centre for Research into Adaptive Nanostructures and Nano Devices in Trinity College. But I'm not going to be talking about nanoscience at all today. I'm going to be talking about something completely different. I'm going to be talking about what's killing our soap stars. So these are it's going to be a statistical analysis of the causes of death in our favourite soaps, including Coronation Street, Home and Away, EastEnders, Emmerdale, and Fair City. So rather than watching hours and hours and hours of all of these soaps and writing down what caused them, I did what any good researcher would do, and I went straight to Wikipedia. The problem with Wikipedia is that anyone who wants to can edit the pages, which is why you find questionable entries like this, such as that somebody died injecting heroin into their eyeballs in the local pub. So everything had to be cross-checked. It's a bit problematic. So one soap that's not in the show or in this presentation is Glenroe, because there's only 3 deaths that I could find anyway. Oliver was murdered with a shovel to the head in 1909, and Biddy and Dinny were both killed off in the last year because they're getting into these arguments with the station bosses at RTE because the thing was being cancelled. So in terms of the deadliest soap, if you look at the deaths per year since the series began, Home and Away is the deadliest with 3.5 deaths per year. But if you look at just since 1990, Coronation Street has 4.5 deaths per year. It's the deadliest soap, with Fair City in last place. This is the deaths per year as a function of time for the 5 soaps, and the total is on the bottom. And if you look at the total deaths, there's a peak at around 2006. And this is apparently because scriptwriters were getting nervous about reality TV, so they were kind of increasing the number of deaths, trying to get things spicier, and they've tailed off since. Now, other causes kill about a quarter of all soap stars. These are usually accidents like falls, people getting crushed, drug overdoses, mysterious disappearances, and one person in Home and Away who was eaten by a shark. Interestingly, in other causes in Coronation Street, 3 people were killed by household appliances. Valerie Barlow was killed by a hairdryer in 1971, Anne Malone was locked in a freezer in 1998, and Leslie Kershaw died while trying to wash her cheese-covered toaster in an aborted attempt at making a toasted cheese sandwich. Brain effects was the smallest killer in soaps. The largest there was Home and Away at 7%. It seems like a lot. In reality, scary. About 16% of us are going to die due to brain effects such as stroke, dementia, and Alzheimer's. So there's a few dark moments like that in this talk. Trying not to get too sad about it. The next biggest killer was drowning. As you can imagine, because everyone knows about the scene Home and Away, that's the largest, 7%. As you can imagine, these figures are much, much exaggerated from reality. Here's the figures for the UK and Australia, which is about 3 times the UK. So that's one of the things that's exaggerated. One of the people who was drowned was not actually a person at all. It was Sugar the dog, who was killed by Lucas. He was drowned in the canal because he was about to find the body of Owen, who was buried under the tree. And this provoked huge outrage. All the EastEnders fans were giving out to Oxcom about this. And kind of the same way as the Love Hate Cat. They even made a Facebook page called You Killed a Dog. Now that's animal cruelty, Lucas Johnson. And the first post on the page was, the dog doesn't even belong to him, which seems kind of beside the point when you consider that 83 people had died in EastEnders up to this point for only 1 dog. But there you go. Next biggest cause of death is cancer and leukemia. The highest again is in Home and Away at 9%. I don't know if that seems high. It seems high to me, but in reality, about 30% of people will die due to cancers and neoplasms. Although usually they're much, much older than shown in the soaps. Fires and explosions, the next biggest killer, between 1% in Corrie and up to 12% in Fair City. That's about 1 in 8 people. It's a lot. As you can imagine, that's way, way exaggerated. What's that? 0.04% of us typically die in fires and explosions. So no need to worry about that one. Then suicide is the next biggest killer, between 2 and 7%. 9%. The lowest rate of suicide in Home and Away, so presumably the least depressing soap. Probably something to do with the beautiful weather and the beautiful people. In reality, less than 1% of people in the Western world die due to suicide. So natural causes is between 1 and 11%. I thought this would be much higher. I thought it'd be like maybe the majority. In reality, nobody actually dies of natural causes. You're always going to be categorized into some death or other, so those should all be 0. Next biggest cause of death is heart attack. What's the lowest one there? 0 in Fair City, and up to a quarter of people in Coronation Street die by heart attack. Again, I thought that was a lot, but in reality, about a third of people die from circulatory diseases. It's the biggest killer in the Western world, actually. So, in fact, Corrie is the closest to reality there. Traffic accidents is the second biggest killer, between 8% in Fair City and over a quarter in Emmerdale. So, but that includes a plane crash, bear in mind. In reality, less than 0.5% of us actually die in car accidents. And the biggest killer in soaps is murder. Probably no surprise. Over a quarter of people in Home and Away are murdered. Oh, well, when they do die, they are murdered. And in Fair City, it's a whopping 31%. In reality, very, very few of us are going to be murdered. 0.06%. In fact, the figure in Fair City is so high at 31% that it's greater than the proportion of the German army that died in World War II. So if you had to choose between joining the cast in Carrickstown or the German army in 1939, you'd statistically be better off going with the German army. That's everything. Thanks very much.